about to throw down.
I guess something to keep in mind is Classic James starts his timer at 0 seconds. This is being timed through SRL, so technically it doesn't matter when people start their timer, but his is the only one that is different on the restream, so I want to make a point of that. So his timer will be 2.2 seconds off from everyone else's.
And we are using Silver Star's audio as we go through the first level, Yoshi's Island 2. And that, again, very basic run through the level. I actually did see this level redone on Mario Maker, and I personally tried racing this level on Mario Maker. Very, very quick level to get through, and very fun to play this as a speed run.
And we got the legendary 361 from Stiverson twice in a row.
Very nice. A slight lead already for him. Except I think Stiverson might have gotten out the gate quicker, and he seems to have taken the early lead.
Yeah, I'm sure the lead is just restream. I don't think you actually save much of anything from that 361. It's more of just a swag trick that you can pull off on the first frame or the last frame of that number being on screen. All right, we got 59s and a 58 for Classic Jane.
Very good run times for both runners here. Or all four runners, I should say here, not both.
Both four runners did very well.
Both pairs of runners did an excellent job on the first two levels.
All right, and they should stay somewhat together here throughout World 1. We might start seeing the change up in Iggy's Castle as we did last time. Let's look for the shell jump. But it didn't look like anyone really went for it. We're going to have 275s.
Yeah, it looks like everyone, except for Classic James, he has a 273. Everyone else has a 275.
I noticed he did lose a little bit of speed running off the side of a platform at one point. That is going to eat up 2 seconds from you in game. So the 2.2 seconds that you will normally see, the difference I was making between Classic James and the other runners is stereotypically when you do an RTA timing of this game, you started at minus 2.2 seconds because time officially starts the frame Mario appears, and that happens to be exactly 2.2 seconds after hitting start game. When you select a one-player game, you have 2.2 seconds until Mario starts, and so that's just a good place to start your timer so that you can hit your button and the timer at the same time. Silver Star showing off some cool swag.
Yeah, I was just noticing that myself, doing some swag things with trying to do some weird clipping, I guess you'd call it there.
Yep, and it can be scary because if it kicks you out at the wrong time, you can fall straight down that hole.
Meanwhile, time reports from this level, 241 for both top runners, 240 for Milani, 238 for Classic James. Classic James loses a couple more seconds on these runners. And Silver Star and Stiverson so far are pretty much neck and neck.
All right, and as expected, this is where we'll start seeing who's leading. Silver Star, Stiverson, and Milani are just right on top of each other. They're not leaving much room. So let's see if flight speed affects the standings. So Classic James had to duck to get under that little Koopaling to make sure he did not take damage. Once again, it's better to play safe in a race format.
Looks like both top runners are doing very well on the same fight speed, only about, again, a couple tenths of a second apart getting to the keyhole.
Yeah, Milani definitely kind of messing up there, having a little trouble, ending the level with a 356. This can put Classic James real close to him.
And the runners are taking the trip to the top pipe, getting the shell again, and are swimming through the level with it. Increases the speed quite a bit to do that.
Silver
Switches to
Star
the P
scared
block.
me.
Yeah, it switches to the P block.
Stiv does not have his cape anymore coming out of that dry room. It's going to give Milani a chance to catch up.
And he dispenses with the P block without taking it to the gate.
All right, and James is now out of the level. We're going to see everyone going into the ghost house. This level is one of the fastest in the run.
And without the cape, you have to do a much longer level going through several rooms to complete it, doing a blockchain and everything.
Yep, and it's best for Stiv to just go ahead, go back, get that cape. It's going to help him in every level, essentially. He still has his backup flower, though. So he can still get through a quick Morton if need be. Silver Star getting that good P speed on DP4. Or 3, sorry.
Milani maintains a slight edge on Classic James as they're going into Donut Plains 3 themselves. Severson is now coming up in 4th place of our restream runners at this point. Silver Star is our first round to enter Donut Plains 4, the introduction of the Insta Shell.
Yeah, he is really strengthening that lead. I told you, Silver Star is a great runner. It's always real fun watching him play. I was surprised to see him go for dry room in DS1. I know stereotypically he tends to avoid dry room in lieu of safety, especially in race formats. All right, and let's see how his Morton flying.
Very nice. First try.
He's got a whole lot of flying left to do, though. He's got to make his way up to the top with a spring in hand.
He got the spring.
All right, not continuing his flight up that very last path. I'm sure it's still totally fine.
Yeah, he wanted to change
it within the cycle.
He wanted to change the Firefly, that's why he didn't do that. So he's going to go for the quick kill on Morton. Shoot, shoot, bop. See you later, Morton.
Milani leaving the spring behind on accident. I believe you have 3 frames to grab that spring and fly up. Stiv taking the exact same route as Silver did, switching to the Fire Flower. Wow, they looked exactly the same except where they placed the spring. It will be your best 3 times averaged that will allow these guys to be seeded in the tournament that's upcoming. All right, and everyone making their way out of Morton quite well.
Yep, Silver Star first to enter Vanilla Dome. The other runners are all either celebrating or dropping the castle right now as Silver Star enters Vanilla Dome, and we're going to see how he does on the flight here. And he gets it, no problem.
Very nice.
Grab his key and he's off.
Very nice. And yes, as we said earlier, that's definitely a flight to keep your eyes on because there will be times where you just don't make it all the way up. And it can be pretty hectic trying to get back up if you don't know what you're doing. Silver Star flying through this level like it's nothing. Taking a damage cancel. Goodness gracious, he could have lost cape there. Milani Stiv not getting the flight. As we were discussing earlier, he was about 1 tile too short. He's going to have to take this different way.
You got it, though. He's
he at least got the safety vine. If you can hit that vine on your way down first time, you won't need to go as far the second.
Milani gets through the Koopa blockade. And Classic James seems to be having a little bit of trouble trying to get some air on this segment here. Ooh.
He is. He held the lead on Stiff for a while.
And drops down.
It's gonna be real hard to get P-speed with such small platforms.
At this point, it's better to just go ahead and take the road after you've tried a few times. You're losing time by keeping trying, so it's better to just save time at this point.
Absolutely. Oh, I was scared he's gonna dive right in those Koopas, but he got through just fine. We've got some flyover levels from the other three.
The Silver Star is on the friendly dolphin level.
Oh yeah, seeing lots of Yoshi food and Yoshi soup.
Yoshi soup.
All right, Classic James finally on top of Vanilla Dome. It's time for his flyover levels. Silver Star is going to be entering that fortress soon.
One of the naturally slower levels in the game, since it is all underwater. How you have a fortress that is underwater? I guess I'm just questioning Nintendo logic here.
Yeah, Bowser has very interesting architecture styles here in Dinosaur Land. We're gonna see how this Reznor kill goes. Reznors can be a little tricky every now and then. It's one of those things, like some of these levels you see here, where you should know it, it shouldn't give you trouble, yet it does.
Sometimes it does.
And that's just how Reznors will always be. Sometimes they shoot like stormtroopers and those fireballs will get nowhere near you. Sometimes they will 360 no-scope you out of nowhere. Looks like Silver Star is going to get through there fine.
Very, very quickly. So for this level, a 225, it looks like he has on that, 225. And the other three runners are coming up. Classic James just entering now, so a virtual high five through the front door. As the other two runners are in the second room, and actually, Service is just getting to the second room now. Milani is in second on our restream at the moment, as he looks like he'll be the first of those two to get to Reznor. And has a little difficulty. Oh no. Loses his cape on Reznor, has to wait for the cycle to come around. Milani gets it very quickly first try. They are a couple seconds apart on the right side right now. We have 220 versus 224, so Silverson gains some time there.
Yep, especially knowing that he still has his cape. Milani will be able to grab a cape in the next level, though. Fortunately, it's an auto-scroller.
That's an easy cape grab for that reason. Silver Star not going for the spare one-up, just bopping two Koopas to get across and then watch them fly over. Well, not really watching them because you have to look up to watch them, but just pays no attention to them.
All right, Milani's going to have to be a little more careful than the other two. Because once again, he has no cape. There's nothing that's going to save him if things go awry.
And everyone is in Better Bridge 1 right now.
Oh yeah, everyone's favorite level just for its, its dense intensity.
I absolutely love auto-scrollers. I can go so slow.
This is how long this auto-scroller is. We had a massive difference in the placings right now, and yet all four of these guys are in the same level at the same time. This auto-scroller is like a minute and a half long of a roughly 35-minute run. And Milani gets that cape.
Now, one death, especially near the end of this level, it sets you back quite a bit.
And Milani has the shell. Let's see if we can get any swag out of this. He's just going to hold on to that shell. He's just teasing. He didn't want to dupe any of those blocks to begin with. All right, Silver Star's back to flying.
You're just using it as a weapon. No swag. And it looks like Silver Stiverson, I should say, was slightly quicker on the finish of that level, as he got 1 second higher on the finish time.
Oh, wow. He is neck and neck with Milani. We've seen this
Indeed.
before.
I wonder where I've seen that before. Insert thinking emoji.
All right, and let's see how Silver Star handles room 2 of Ludwig's castle. This is going to be where you see either Flower or Cape. He takes the Flower. We're going to see Milani take Cape, and I believe Stiverson take Flower. So now he just has to make it up these cages, past room 3, and then he's going to do the standard 2 fireballs and a jump on Ludwig. All right, Stiverson and Milani staying right on each other. Milani taking a little bit of a lead because doors are the final boss of Super Mario World. And now you get to see the 2 strats back to back, Fire and Flower, going through room 2, side by side. And Milani's going to keep that small lead.
Yeah, the Cape stays ahead this time. And
So that's a
Silver Star is entering Forest Illusion right now, so we're gonna see how he does on that block clip in Swimming Level Forest Illusions 2 very soon as well. That could make a significant difference in the race if he can't pull that off.
That's right. That made a massive difference in our previous race where Milani was able to take the lead momentarily from Stiverson after attempting 6 or 7 Yoshi clips and not getting them.
And Classic James using the Cape strat to go through the spike room. And changes the Flower immediately.
Yeah, it's fortunate that room 3 starts with a vertical jump, so you can switch over to your Fire Flower whenever you want.
And he's going to do the quick pull on Ludwig. And there we go.
We haven't seen any FOI 1 wings yet. Not today. I was thinking maybe Silver Star was going to go for it, get near those green Koopas. It's a very high risk, not too much of a reward strat. There's a high chance for failure. But he's going in for that. He's going in for that Yoshi clip here.
Didn't mean to interrupt you, sorry. I was just going to say, here we go. We're on the decisive moment, I think, right here for Silver Star. If he can pull this off quickly, he's going to maintain a significant lead here.
Absolutely. He's going to get in that right chamber and dismount near the ceiling.
Oh, first try. Very nice.
It will line him up with that corner, and as you see, he will clip straight through and into the level. He's going to grab this block for some speed and continue on to the key to switch out. So we've got Stiv and Milani going for their Yoshi clips. We'll see if Yoshi clips treat Stiv a little nicer this time. You know, this trick is heavily dependent on Yoshi's subpixel, which you can set by running into that first green fish. Stiv almost getting it, not pulling to the left soon enough.
Yeah, he's having the same kind of problem here last time, unfortunately.
And he dropped the Yoshi on the ground. That's going to randomize Yoshi's subpixel and make it potentially harder to get in. Milani is through, going for that key. It's the same thing as last race.
Yeah, this looks like to be the thing that Stiverson seems to have trouble with. Both runs he's been having trouble getting this Yoshi clip pulled off.
It can be janky. That's a fact. Silver Star leaving Forest of Illusion, going towards the spooky Royfly.
He got up and jumped out.
Yep, you can get kicked out. As I said earlier, even if you do everything 100% right, you still only have a 75% chance of success. And that number only falls from there.
There, he finally got it. But again, he lost significant time going for that. And in the end, it is quicker than going through the level if you do get it the first few tries. But after that, it's just massive the amount of time that is lost if you don't get it on those first few tries.
Absolutely. It allows James to take the 3rd spot. And Silver Star just doing a great Roy. Milani is making his way into Roy. You can try a significant amount of times before you lose time on that Yoshi clip. But once you decide to continue forth without doing the Yoshi clip, then you already have lost that time.
And
You need to be successful. Milani hitting the ceiling on the last Cape pump of Roy Fly.
Ouch.
Falling down that hole. That is going to really eat into his time and allow James to catch up, taking 2nd place. All right, and let's see if Silver Star gets pipe fly.
Oh, Milani takes a death trying to get to the cape.
All right, and a good pipe fly from Silver Star. You have to enter that pipe without really touching anything while maintaining
Classic James takes a death in the cape chamber to a fireball.
Yep. He had his dive incorrect at the right time.
Silverson is back in 2nd place.
And let's see, he should have no issues with this Roy Fly, but everyone says that before death, right? He gets through the fireballs. It got James fine. Going through the spikes, and let's see if he passes where Milani died. He does just fine without hitting that ceiling. Too close to the tunnel. He's going to switch over to Flower and get the kill.
He's fine in 2nd place right now, but Silver Star has also had no problems at all with either of those tricks. So he's going to maintain a significant lead here, barring any other problems.
Very significant, yeah. Getting that quick door entrance. He's going to damage cancel through this ghost or this boo line right there. Go to the door.
Done.
I believe that to be the spookiest of all ghost houses due to that fishing eerie.
Hits the gate at 22:09, level time 261. Very, very nicely done.
All right, and Stiv is in his cutscene where Milani and James will be joining shortly. Damage cancel with a cape would be while you're moving downward in a parachute animation. If you're moving downward with that parachute animation, you will, anytime you take damage, you will just go into a spin animation and be in iframes. You're going to see that used a few times in this run. Most notably, Wendy's Castle that will be coming up soon. I'll make sure to point out the damage boosts or damage canceling there.
Silver Star having no issue with the Chocolate Island 2. Going to go to Chocolate Secret right now.
And this level can be very scary if you don't know what you're doing.
Casually, this level is very, very difficult to play through. If you are not trying to do it fast, you're still fairly new to the level. It's very, very difficult to play through. This is one of the levels that made me salty when I was first playing.
Absolutely. Makes me salty to this day.
It does.
All right, and he's going to go ahead and take that flight through there. It's going to give him roughly 47 speed through those tunnels instead of a slower. All right, and we have switched over to Barn Owl on the restream.
Yeah, it looks like Milani went ahead and forfeit again. He was just not getting just having a hard time with that one spot today, and that's taking all of his runs, unfortunately. So, yes, welcome Barn Owl back, and we'll see how he does in this run.
All right, so there's not going to be a Yoshi grab then. I think Milani's the only one who was taking that safety Yoshi for a while. So we should see this restream sans Yoshi. So you're going to see damage cancels right here through these saws. You see how it looked like he just jumps into the saws? And right through there too? He just made sure he was moving downwards in a parachute animation with that cape. He's going to do it again on this last crusher, I'm sure. And gets his flight right back. I think this room 2 in Wendy is one of the smoothest looking rooms if you have capes. It looks so slick. And let's see if Wendy treats Silver good.
That's 2.
Ooh, goodness. It is
Oh, almost missed it, but yes, 3 hits, 3 goes.
I was very worried he was going to get sidled by Wendy and lose his cape there on that last hit. But he maintains his lead. James does not have a cape in this room 2, so he's going to have to pull these boos over and then turn them into blocks and jump up. Hopefully we can see Barn Owl maybe do a cancel, but he's riding the fishing area, and we saw last time how scary that can be. You don't have the damage cancel when you're in a spin animation, only in parachute animations. Yeah, he took his spin jump weird, so he wasn't able to get that damage boost. Silver Star just makes his way onto the sunken ghost ship.
Yep. 26:13 going into the sunken ghost ship. Very good time. Anything sub half hour at this point is fantastic.
And we might potentially see a good boo ring despawn here. This is something to pay attention to. At the end of this room that Silver Star is in, there are 2 boo rings. And if you manage your horizontal value correctly, you can manipulate the spawning of those boo rings to the point where they don't even spawn. We'll see scroll versions, we'll see scroll-less versions, 1 despawn, 2 despawns. It'll be interesting to see how the different runners handle this. There's no first boo ring. There's no
very
boo
nice. Ring. Oh my.
Silver Star. Oh, he is killing it with the double despawn. He doesn't have to wait a second to get in that pipe. He wants that orb.
He is thirsty for the orb of green.
Hopefully we'll see some despawns from the other guys.
No safety star here. He's just going straight through. Uses the coins as a guide. Very nicely done. Gets through without trouble. Orb.
Orb.
Yes?
All right. Classic James and Barn Owl are staying neck and neck right now. Classic James leaving the room a little before Barn Owl. And Stiv makes his way out of Wendy's castle just fine. All right, so let's see Silver Star's nice strat here. He's changed it up from the usual one where he is not going to be fighting Monty moles in the way that other people do. Much less risk for damage. It's what we consider top route as opposed to bottom route. It's going to be a tiny bit slower, but it's going to help ensure that he keeps that cape.
Yeah, he's working on the safety strats, especially for the qualifiers. Will be interesting to see in later rounds of the brackets, assuming he gets there, which I don't doubt he will. Whether he actually changes that up in those rounds. Right now, he's doing a lot of safety for good times in the qualifiers, but in later rounds of the brackets, he might choose to change it up a little bit. We'll see when he gets to that point.
And we got a single despawn from Stiverson while he loses his cape on purpose in the second boo ring, so that he can get past it, grab his backup cape. That's what a single despawn looks like.
Yeah, we saw that in the last race from him as well, so consistent on getting that first despawn.
All right, and let's see what Silver Star goes for here. Oh, okay. He survived at least. You can clip through that yellow block there and run for a little bit of this way, called sandbar clip. Now we have 2 more orbs left. It's like Barn Owl had that cape, so he's going to take the lead, or stay in the lead over James on there. Barn Owl switching to his flower. I think he's worried about damage potentially. Yep, and going back to that cape after knowing that Wendy's taken care of.
Good Wendy fight by Barn Owl.
Div going for the low route and having some issues. Okay, he got out of it.
Classic James loses his cape.
Oh, he's in a scary situation. Okay, you got the final hit. That's good. If you ever find yourself small and windy, you've got to pray because nothing could save you.
And he's gonna have a hard time getting that cape now. He may have to go back and get another power up to ensure he gets the cape on the ship. We'll see what he does.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he handles Sunken Ghost Ship. Is he going to go through with cape, or is he going to go through, try to get a mushroom and save it, and then re-enter for a cape? We have Silver Star getting through the crushers. Oof, such spooky strats. He stays so close to those crushers, gets through just fine.
And when you're cape spinning, you don't have the ability to run into the crushers just like you do when you have the cape actually out and flying.
Yeah, not at all. So if he hit those crushers, he would have taken damage. All right, Barn Owl making his way through SGS. Let's see if he can get any despawns going. And Silver Star going through Dark Room, going into Bowser. This is a phenomenal run. He is on a low 33 pace, which I think would be his top run so far for these qualifiers. He does have a 33.56 from yesterday. No despawns on Barn Owl's part. So Silver Star's going to be going for his cape kill here, and that's where you fly up, and we're going to hit Bowser as he throws the Mecha Koopas. We don't need to wait for them to hit the ground. He's going to destroy that other Mecha Koopa so he can bring a second one into phase 2. So he's going to hold on to that one on the ground, and that's going to come in use later during a trick called Ball Skip. Oh, what do I see from Barn Owl?
I'm just looking at the rankings, and Silver Star's PB is the 33.35, and he had that 2 days ago, it looks like. So he is on a really good pace to challenge that today as well.
And Barn Owl getting his orb.
3 orbs. Four beautiful green orbs.
All right, so he's going to throw up this Mecha Koopa right when Bowser reaches the end. I don't know if that was a ball skip. That was playing it so close. It was. Wow. Wow, that was one of the closest ball skips I've seen. So instead of dropping 2 balls, Bowser only drops 1, and Silver Star has another Mecha Koopa for a bounce skip coming in on phase 3.
Can he get a PB on this? 33.35 is what we have listed as his PB. Again,
he
super close.
Will get it. I could say without a doubt. Nothing could go wrong at this point, right? He's going in for that final hit. He's going in for that final hit.
Got it. PB. Oh, wow. Let me get the time on that. Holy cow.
A beautiful time.
That is a first place time of 33.21. Wow.
Absurd run. With very minimal mistakes, if any. That was absolutely incredible. Stiv is going through his Bowser fight right now. Throw some GGs in the chat for Silver Star. That is an incredible run he just had.
And yes, that was first place in the overall race as well.
Oh, yeah, I would imagine so. With a run like that,
oh, Barn Owl takes a death on the crushy block room.
Yep, he got caught up in it. It's very easy to have happen. I'm not sure if he was going for any sort of sandbar. I assume he wasn't. All right, and we have a second place finish from Mice Taken with a 34.49. Mistaken, sorry. All right, and Stiv getting his ball skip just fine. That was a good hit. Yep, okay. Barn Owl has passed the place where he died. I see what happened now. Him and James are on the same cycle. James a little bit of head on the cycle. So it'll be great to see who finishes between those two runners. Stiv going into his third phase.
We're looking at Stiverson possibly contending for third place here, as he is now on the final Bowser Crush phase.
Yep, all he needs to do is fly up and touch Bowser, and he will finish up. So it'll be a GG
Boing.
for Stiv. We have an SRL time of 35:23 for Stiv in third place. All right, and we've got Classic James and Barnow going through the Crushers together.
Oof.
All right, they seem to be moving through.
I lose a lot of time on this level,
Oh,
more than any other level.
We seem to have some audio here. We're going to change that over here.
The fact that I haven't tried to learn the actual strategy there.
Yep. So they're both in the Reznor fight. James still slightly in the lead. Barnow taking a little bit of damage, missing that cape. It's going to be sketchy because going through Bowser's back door, he doesn't have a potential cape in room 3 he can grab. All right, you see James flying through that dark room with ease. Barnow making his way, no cape. So we're going to get to see the difference between the two styles here.
And both are on that Bowser fight just starting right now. So we're going to see who comes out slightly ahead here. Currently, Classic James is slightly ahead.
Yeah, but as long as he can stick to his cape kills, he'll be just fine. Something I did notice he did over other runners is he threw the Mecha Koopa off to the right side off screen as opposed to stomping on it to destroy it. And that can be an issue because there is a ledge that exists off screen for about 2 tiles. And there's a chance that that Mecha Koopa can land on those tiles and just stay stunned over there. In which you'll see Bowser just throw 1 Koopa next. And you wonder where that Mecha Koopa is. And lo and behold, he comes walking out a few seconds later, unscathed. He seems to have done it just fine, though. Going for ball skip right now.
And in the air, waiting for, there it is.
Nice. Great drop. That will be a ball skip for sure. Barnow does not have another Mecha Koopa, having to go through both balls. Great insta hits on Classic James' part. And we will be setting up a third race for here at the No Star World Winter Tournament. This will be race 3 out of 6 coming up. We are just now finishing race 2.
Oh, he lost the Mecha Koopa.
Yeah, he did not get his bounce skip, so Bowser will be bouncing 8 times during this as opposed to 5.
Oh,
Losing
he lost
a
the
Mecha
Mecha Koopa
Koopa
there. Oh, that's going to drop him. Oh, no.
He now has to wait a whole new cycle for the Mecha Koopa. Barnow can take this. Barnow gets the last hit first.
And Barnow will take the last hit before Classic James does. Let's get those times for you. We have Barnow finishing with a 39.10, 4th place. Classic James, 39.11. 1 second difference, 5th place. Ooh.
What a good run on both guys. Made that
Great
very
run.
interesting, keeping it super close until the very end.
Very, very good race. Very good run by all runners. We have all 4 runners on our restream right now in the top 5. So very, very top performances here from these runners today. And we do have other runners still in this race who are not on the restream. And that next race is scheduled to start in the next few minutes, give or take.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've had some great races so far. Silver Star, once again, just blowing it out of the water with that run. He's got to be real happy about that. Stiverson coming in second on the restream, followed by Barnow and Classic James.
Yeah, very, very well run race by all the runners. Silver Star, as you mentioned earlier, and as we were discussing with his time, had no real mistakes in that run. Just maybe a couple spots where he might have been slowed down a little bit, but no real tragic mistakes. Stiverson had trouble with the clip in
FOI 2, yeah.
Force of Illusion 2. Yeah, I was trying to get the full name. Force of Illusion 2, he had trouble with that clip. And then James and Barnow had trouble in Roy's Castle with the Cape section. 2 areas that are designed to basically destroy runs are the areas that destroyed their runs and made it closer down there. But still, Silver Star pulled away with those mistakes happening by the other runners.
All right, it looks like we're getting everyone into the room for race 3. It's a perfect time to remind everybody that if you're interested, registration is still open. I'm going to put the command in the chat, SMW, that's going to give you all the information about the schedule, the tournament, more info on that $750 prize pool. You can check out all the details at the link posted in chat.
And I'm looking at the racer. It looks like the scheduled start time is going to be 2:50 for the next run. I think this run must start a little bit later than planned or something, because the start time is pushed up by a few minutes there to give the other runners time to finish in this current run. So more of them can get in the next run as well.
All right, so we'll just take a little bit of time before that race. Another thing we can talk about is the bets. There has been a promo partnership with Vi.gg, and you can bet on all the matches in this tournament, including the qualifiers you're watching here. If you click on the links in chat, that's available to viewers outside of the US. When you sign up, you can get yourself a free €20 bet. As well, I'm going to go ahead and throw in a link to the leaderboards currently. If you want to check those out, see where these runners stand, find some of your favorites you see on the restream, see where they're sticking to. And once again, we'll also be back tonight for another time zone race at 3 a.m. Eastern, midnight Pacific. We'll be doing 6 more races at that time. So definitely tune in for that if you're a night owl.
Yeah, that's not going to be my hour, unfortunately, because that's I have a busy day tomorrow. But obviously, it's great to have the late time zone runs for those who are in not in North America, which most of the schedule you see is considered based on Eastern Standard Time. Hence why it's 3 a.m. listed as the time. For our overseas players, it's going to be a good chance for them to get in on the races if they are not able to make it for the regular times that we normally have here in North America. Good chance for all of them to get their times in and get some qualifier runs in to get their top times. And then obviously once we hit the actual main part of the tournament with the brackets and such, we're going to be times racing scheduled whenever the runners feel like it at that point. It's going to be entirely up to them when the runs are done.
Yeah, I think hopefully we will see this bracket grow once we do the time zone change runs coming up later tonight.
I agree. There are probably some runners who are just waiting for that overnight cycle as Stiverson practicing takes death on that run there. And it looks like Silver Star is practicing a trick that we don't see in this run, which is the Yoshi wings on this block duplication Yoshi wings clip. It looks like he's trying to do here.
Yep, you don't see it in runs from these runners. You can do it in No Star World. It saves you, I believe, about 6 to 7 seconds. So it's insanely high risk for very little reward. But if you can pull it off, it's a certain lead you can take. So what they're trying to do here is dupe that P balloon off to the left side, because that block's contents is dependent on its horizontal value. And so if he gets that dupe off to the left side, Yoshi wings should spawn instead of the usual P balloon, as you see now that he grabs. And you'll see that in a few levels in a lot of different categories. These are the wings that you go for in No Star World. And you see that time he duped it up and to the left. The vertical value didn't matter. It's horizontally. You could either get a vine block, a key, a pea balloon, or Yoshi wings.
Very, very difficult to pull that off, too.
Insanely difficult. I believe you have 2 frames with a cape, 1 frame without. And another thing to point out is these practice cards that these guys are using. It looks like a weird version of Super Mario World. This community is so great that we have resources like this where there's actual cartridges just for practicing that shows you all this cool diagnostic information about the levels you're going through. So if you're ever interested in getting into speed running or you're new to Mario, that just, there's a whole community and tons of resources behind getting you better. Silverstar practicing that sandbar clip that I hope we see in later runs.
So I want to cover some other finishes that we've had on the race since we cut off on the restream runners here. Rems came in 6th place with a time of 40 minutes, 20 seconds. We have Jumpy Penguin coming in at 41:28 in 7th. 41:59 for Mike the Pone Star. 45:21 for Delcamex, who has just finished in 9th place. And most recent Sonic F420 also came in with a finish at 45:29. That was about 1-2 minutes ago.
GG's to all those runners. I believe you will see Mike the Pone Star and Sonic F420 coming up in commentary later today.
And that actually does conclude that race. All the runners in that race are concluded. So they are going to set up for the next run right now. And any other runner who was in that race did forfeit the race. And we're getting set up in the 3rd room right now. So we're going to change over. We'll be right back with more of the SMW qualifiers. Stay tuned.